White, orange, and teal. The physical real, you know it's a deal. There's blood, sweat, and tears all up in his huddle with water to cook up a meal. My coaching into it, the combo was chill. Play action to chase, got hunger to feel. The cheetah is loose, he's going for blood. The end of the race only went for the kill. Miami, the city, the county, the block. We steady unpacked, tails in the lot. Defense is strong and hard as a rock. Holland's a lock, and next one's a spot. Getting too hot, so turn up the fan. You look to the crowd, see Jimmy and Bam. Martin, Joe, and Sosa the mans. Your fellas, roll the clip, only fans.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to OnlyFans, the Dolphins post-game show presented by Sports with Soso. I'm your host, Joel, aka the Delusional Dolphin. And before we jump into things, we want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you have, hit that subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Now, if you notice, we're in a different setting today. We're here at Empire Boutique, and I got the two main products of OnlyFans. I got Soso from Sports with Soso.
What it do, baby?
What's going on, player? And we got Martin, Tune Out Martin from the Dolphin podcast.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
And I like the orange that this dude is rocking with the tuna right here. I like
Dolphin
it.
on me. I don't hear it.
Yeah, you left the Herbert jersey at home for a reason.
I love it.
Just for the fans, for the fans.
Oh, man, this is a little different for us. We've done this 17, 18 weeks, 19 weeks, I guess. No, 18. This will be the 19th.
This is 19.
And we've done it all from, comfort of our home, and now we're sitting in front of each other, so now we can't hide anything or hold back.
No, I feel like all the emotions.
I never hold anything back, man.
No, he definitely doesn't. He definitely doesn't. And I feel like all the emotions of like what we want to say and how it's going to come about is like a little bit quicker, fresher, raw. I don't know. We got a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about, boys. As you guys know, our Dolphins season has ended officially.
Has it?
Sadly.
It's officially over. But, we didn't go out like no punk bitches, in my opinion,
Facts.
dogs. I think that we fought hard with what we had. We lost in the end by 3 points to a Super Bowl favorite Buffalo Bill team on the road in Buffalo. And we just barely came up short with our backup quarterback, our third string quarterback, who also happens to be a rookie 7th rounder from this year. So, we got a lot to talk about, from, our offense to our defense to the end result. But before we jump into that, again, we always do this. What's your initial thought on this game?
My initial reaction to this game, honestly, was these guys did everything that we asked, right? They made it a game. They made it entertaining. They were in the game for as much as they could be, right? With all things considered, and made it an entertaining playoff game. And that's what we asked for in the beginning of the season.
Absolutely.
For me, I think we did the Bills a favor. We gave them a tune-up game that they weren't ready for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If anything, the Bills are looking at us like we weren't a joke just to mess around with. Even coming in with Skylar Thompson, other than the run game not being there, was the game really not entertaining at any point in the game? Like there was plays on defense all over.
So the first quarter, to answer your question, they come out guns blazing, right? They put 2 quick scores on the board.
Wait, I want to make something pointed out, especially.
Yeah, go ahead.
You knew that they were trying to get after us, especially after the first play, right? The first play, they went deep on us, and they tried to hit Xavier and all this stuff, and it didn't work out for them, but it just let us know, like, yo, these guys are trying to come after us, and they're going to try to attack us.
Yeah, man, did you expect anything less from Buffalo? We've already played these guys twice this year. This was the third time, and both times we put up a fight, so they knew what to expect on us. But again, they come out guns blazing, and, for a moment there, I think Dolphins, fans were like, oh, man, this is going to get ugly fast.
Right.
At least I had that thought cross my mind.
For
I can't
sure.
lie.
But I feel like that first initial touchdown was more we got them down to 3rd and 15, and then we go down to 0 blitz, and we leave one-on-one with Diggs. And Diggs did what he normally does. He made you pay.
No, and we did that.
We got lucky because it would have happened twice. Because it happened that initial play, and he missed them. And that we got him 3rd and 15. The last thing you want is 0 blitz. And obviously, if he beat you the first time, it didn't work out in the pass, they were like, we're going to go at it again, and it hurt us.
I mean, Josh Allen's not going to be scared of going after it, right? Yeah. So, especially if he knows and he saw, like, damn, I only missed Diggs by this much.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was so close that first go around. Why are you not going to go at it the second time?
And let me tell you, I was kind of like, to replicate your sentiments, like, I kind of felt like the game got off to a super slow start for the Dolphins.
Well, I mean, you talk about, them completing passes down the field, and then on our end, something that we haven't seen all year, Jalen Waddle dropping big passes early on in the game that just kind of ruined drives for us. And that wasn't Waddle-like.
And you know what? It really wasn't. But if you think about it, his progression over the last 4 weeks his production over the last 4 weeks has like taken a step back. And I don't know. Obviously, it has to do with the quarterback play. But still, you could just tell that there's some type of rhythm, confidence, something missing from that guy.
I really, it's hard for me to even say, hey, Waddle didn't make that pass because it sucks because he's been there all year.
Facts.
He's one of those players that without him, we wouldn't be even in the playoffs.
100%.
So yeah, that was a big play. He has to know that. He obviously hates that happen because he sent out a tweet at the end of the game. Oh, stand on on that energy, and it sucks as a fan to even call him out because again, he was such a great producer this year alongside Hill. It just sucks to see.
And last year, I mean, we just seen the progression of his, athleticism and his development, his IQ. He's getting better, so that's fine. But it was just kind of like, damn, man, who knows what happens if the Dolphins early on in that first quarter, he makes that grab and then we can put some points on the board. But moving on, our first quarter wasn't great, but switched it around that second quarter. Skylar Thompson came to play in that second quarter.
We looked like the Bills in the second quarter, and they looked like the Dolphins.
And I think it was because of our defense. If you noticed, our defense really started to get stops, right? Not necessarily make a turnover here and there, but they were getting to Josh Allen, putting hands in his face, right? Making it uncomfortable for him to throw. And then again, I felt like the tackling on Sunday was much improved over than anything we've seen over the last 6 weeks.
I got to say this right here, right now, because the defense has been a hot topic button for us on this show.
Yep.
This was the best game that I've seen our defense play all year long.
I agree.
Yes, because it's the playoff games and they came to play. But I think we've seen it sporadically throughout the year. And the Jets game, we allowed 3 field goals.
But it all came together in this one in the sense that Xavier Howard finally showed up, a guy that we've been dogging all year. Huge interception, changed the momentum of the game for us in that second quarter.
I think everybody
showed up. A forced fumble, a touchdown on defense. I mean, that D-line, overall, showed out. And then you got the secondary, Kohu and Crossan and those guys. They were doing their thing. A couple boneheaded mistakes here and there, some things that went down that we don't like.
True.
But from beginning to end in its entirety, man, I think that this unit played the best it's played all season long.
I think if anything, the reason why it stands out to us the most is because we actually caused turnovers.
Yes.
That was something we were last in the league.
Huge.
I think it was 14 turnovers the whole year. You go in and you cost 3 or 2 or something. I forgot what it was.
No,
it's crazy.
And not only that, the type of turnover, right? A big pick to stop their momentum, right? And stop them from scoring. Another fumble recovery for a touchdown that gave us all the momentum in the second half.
There was another one that Brad Chubb forced a fumble.
Correct.
They kind of recovered that one. If not, that would have been a third touchdown. So you know what I mean? Chubb, another guy that we signed, during the season, was a little underwhelming for us. Didn't really do much. Comes in on that third down play, makes the biggest play of his Dolphins career so far. The defense was on point, man. And then you got the offense who with Skylar Thompson, being his third game in a row now. Second game that he was starting in Tua's absence. And you started to see him get a little bit more comfortable as the game went on, kind of going through its progression. Still holding on to the ball a little bit too long, in my opinion.
Right.
But he was finding Tyreek. He found Gesicki in the end zone, right?
Yeah.
To get us on the board. He was making the plays that he needed to make in order to keep us in that game.
And you got to think about it. Like, well, what did we say previously? Like, hey, we want to see Skylar go out there and go for it. Yeah. Make the throws. Don't be worried about the interception. Don't be worried. And he did that. You know what I mean? To a T. So that's why I feel like what you were saying, where this was probably the most complete game we've seen, all things considered, in a playoff spot. Because it's a hard place to play at. We're in Buffalo. We have a our third string quarterback, 7th rounder. We have injuries all over the O-line. We have some injuries in the running back. Like, it wasn't meant for us to be in this game, and the Dolphins made it a fucking game, bro, for real.
And although I'm always rooting for Skylar, the last thing you want is for your defense to set you up for 3 possessions. I think we got him in good field position and special teams. Cedric Wilson with a big punt return.
Huge.
We only got 9 points out of it. I think that's my only knock. People are going to say the interceptions. The interceptions are the first one. Okay, it was a bad pass. The first one, of course.
For sure.
There's no other way to say
Rookie
it.
mistake.
The second one was worse.
But to me was more the second one was a rookie mistake.
That was the worst mistake.
I think that one was more of a rookie, like, I need to make a play.
He misread the coverage. It was third and long.
19.
19.
Yeah, but that would you then that's where I'm going to I know where you're going. There's 2 people to blame on that. It's Skylar and McDaniel.
Yeah.
3rd and 19 when you're known to doing screenplays. Why not run a screenplay at 3rd and 19? See what
and
you
it
get
worked
out of it.
because we saw one later on in the game where he hit Wilson on the sideline
and he picked up 19 yards.
Like 14 yards, right?
And Ahmed too. Ahmed had a nice 10 or 11 yard play.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
He was just dumping off. It was smart play.
It was smart play calling, and that's something we have to give credit to McDaniel, right? Where he did And we'll get to this later, but like that just shows you how quickly he can adjust on the fly. Damn, I messed up. I shouldn't have called that stupid play. Next time I'm in that position, I'm gonna call the check down and see if that works. And it worked for him, you know.
I think that was more of a Skyler decision than
Possibly.
McDaniel play though. Because
But at least letting him know that, hey, this play is open for you to either throw it downfield or do the safest thing that you can do.
So then who's to blame then towards the end of the game when the clock's running out
That's Mo
and we're
McDaniel.
not getting down onto the line in time?
That's on McDaniel.
I'm not gonna put it. I'll give 90% to McDaniel, 10% to the rookie quarterback, not knowing. Supposedly the terminology of his plays are a little more complex. Being your second start in the NFL, third full start.
Sure.
I guess he's not there yet when it comes to the playbook. So maybe there's some miscommunication when it comes to reading the play, but you got to make sure your quarterback's ready. So that's why I'm leaning towards McDaniel.
That's where I miss Tua. You know what I mean? And I know that, you know, people didn't want him to play in this game, even if he was clear. They're like, forget it, shut him down for the rest of the season. Some people were saying, no, hold him out here. If they get past the Bills, go ahead and bring him out. You know, I really think that's where Tua would have been able to change the game at the end. You know what I mean? The fact that he's been in those situations already, he has a little bit more experience under his belt, and he would have known, hey, it's crunch time. We need to get on the line. I mean, the fact we couldn't even get the ball snapped.
But I will
say this, that even with Tua in the QB huddle, right? We have seen it before where the offense doesn't get the playing time, and we get a penalty, a delay of time,
or we have to burn a timeout.
Or we have to burn a timeout 3 times in Houston when it happened.
No, trust me, I'm on board with you.
So that's why I think that McDaniel is the one to blame. And he's a rookie head coach. Those things can happen, but they can't happen in the playoffs. When you're down 3 and you have a chance to go down and get the game tied or maybe even go up, you know, that's what makes it suck more. But for sure, it's on McDaniel because even himself, he said it like, hey, that's on me. Even if I heard the information from the top, right? Because he's saying that he heard the guys in the skybox say, hey, we got the first down. So he's looking at the play call, looking for a first down play to call. That's when he looked up that he saw it was still 4th down. He was like, oh, shit, I got to switch. Then you saw Tyreek and Jalen Waddle coming off the field. So it was kind of that motion of him trusting the guys too much, not being aware of the surroundings or what's happening at the time. And I think that he's going to improve. But I feel like that's something that he does well. He messes up, he's accountable for it, and he fixes it later on.
I think you just highlight it more because of the fact that he's a 7th rounder. You're like, this is why this happened, because he's a 7th rounder. I think it would have happened with Tua, and you guys would have just said it's McDaniel.
Yeah,
you get me? Don't you think?
I would have played McDaniel no matter what.
I still believe firmly that, you know, in that situation, knowing what's coming, like Tua does a better job of leading that huddle, going, guys, get me the ball. Get on the ball right now. Let's snap it. You know what I mean? I think maybe the crowd noise had something to do with it. You know, you got the nerves, maybe McDaniel and what he's saying. You know what I mean? Who knows? But at the end of the day, entertaining game from beginning to end, guys. I mean, this was we played Buffalo 3 times this year, and they didn't roll us over.
Not once. I felt like it was evenly matched. I felt like that game was evenly matched. And like I said, if I would have told you guys, hey, next week when we play Buffalo, it's gonna be 34-31. There's about 4 minutes left, and the Dolphins are on the drive to tie the game or to go ahead. You're gonna be like,
everybody would have said,
get
cap.
off of it.
Everybody would have said, cap. Why? Because everybody was talking going into that game. First of all, Dolphins don't belong here.
Yeah.
Dolphins don't belong in the playoffs. They've backdoored their way in. They're going to get steamrolled by Buffalo. Buffalo's a 14-point favorite. Yeah. They have no chance in hell. They didn't deserve to be here. Well, guess what? Even though we didn't win the game, I think we proved to the league and to everybody that watches football, we deserve to be in that playoff game.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what Martin said. I think that we really scared the shit out of Buffalo, right? And made it more of a game than what they expected. And they probably got that wake-up call, and they're going to go against that game against Cincinnati that they're going to have next week and probably be on full tilt because they got that wake-up call against the Dolphins, which – as a Dolphins fan, honestly, you got to be really happy that the Dolphins even, A, made it to the playoffs, B, gave you an entertaining game, and had a chance to win or tie the game in regulation. Those are things, like I said, it had all the things considering coming into this game. And if I tell you, yo, this is where we would have been at, come on, dog. Nobody would have said, yeah, we got the chance to win this game.
I did think it was going to be, I didn't say it was going to be this, but I thought it would be more competitive because when you play your division rival, one of your division rivals 3 times in one season, it's usually a better game. Just like going into the, not to go off topic, but the Ravens and Bengals game without DeMar Jackson, I thought it was going to be closer than expected because it was their 3rd time around and it was probably like 2 weeks ago they played each other.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good point, man.
Divisional games are always tough like that. But, man, I mean, it sucks. Our season ended, but honestly, I'm not I'm upset. You know, I'm sad that we're not moving on, that we're not the ones moving on in the playoffs. But you know, this has been one of the craziest Dolphin seasons in a long time, in my opinion. You know, the fact that we were being called Super Bowl contenders early on in the season. You know, the fact that we were going streaking. You know,
super stretch.
In in the wrong direction or in the right direction. You know, almost miss out on the playoffs, backdoor our way in. You know, backdoor our way to a over 500 record.
Yeah.
You know, all things considered, man, I'm really happy with the way that this season turned out. And I think this is one of the better seasons that I've seen as a Dolphins fan in the last 20 years.
I agree, man. I feel like if you're a Dolphins fan, you really have to be happy with how this season turned out. You know what I mean? Because at the beginning of the year, all we wanted to do was make the playoffs. All we wanted to do was make the playoffs. It's like, yo, we got enough talent. Let's make the playoffs.
The only reason I'm going to say we might be a little disappointed is because we have little cap. Obviously, things could be done in the offseason.
True.
But now we have no running back under contract. We have a lot of people we need to pay, Wilkins included. He has a 5th-year option,
Yes.
but you want to make sure you
No, you got to lock that guy in today.
Gesicki's gone. Okay.
Today.
So we're going to have a lot of holes coming into next season. Our O-line needs to be, I guess,
Addressed.
At least one piece
Addressed.
needs to be added to. If Austin Jackson doesn't clear things up, we need one more piece.
Yep.
So do we have the capital to? We don't have any picks, at least early in the rounds.
Right.
We traded him off for Tyreek. And
Which
now
worked out.
Chubb, no, again, but it's just you gave up a lot, and now what are you going to do to fix the holes that we have? Linebacker's a big issue.
Well, let's talk about the biggest issue, right, which is the quarterback position. We heard the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel say that Tua is going to be back for sure 2023. I don't think anybody had a doubt about that, right? But
Whoa.
No, nobody had a doubt that Tua was going to be back. He's the cheapest option. Cheapest option off rip.
I
I
will
don't know.
say
I wouldn't say. I mean, if you ask me, then yeah, I say that. But there's a lot of people saying, "Hey,
No,
Lamar
dude,
Jackson.
but-
Hey, Tom
No.
Brady.
Yeah, I get
hey,
it. You-
Derek Carr."
The only person
wanna
I would want is
upgrade.
Rodgers. That's the only person. I wouldn't want Brady. I wouldn't want Lamar Jackson.
My point being is that you always are looking to upgrade positions, right? But if you're looking at that quarterback position and what you guys have, QB is at least serviceable, has a lot of health concerns, but he's at least serviceable, and he's on the cheap. So when a guy's on the cheap like that, and he's proven that when he can play, he plays better than more often than not, that's a good sign. But you can always still improve. And I feel like quarterback may not be the first position addressed because I feel like these guys really do have to lock down the offensive
you can't
line.
make sure.
We got to figure out that our linebackers. We got to figure out some of the defensive back positions. You know, those are things that are probably more pressing than quarterback.
Let me ask you.
Because Kyler's coming back too.
You both this question. Number one position we need to improve on immediately before the 2023 season starts. Go.
You want me to go first? I'll go first, dog.
First, number one position.
I'm gonna say, wow. I'm gonna say linebacker. I'm gonna say linebacker.
That's a good call.
I think that to me is the thing that stands out the most because tackling was the biggest issue this year.
You're fed up with Jerome Baker.
No, I like
and
Jerome Baker.
Roberts
but
and Duke
Roberts,
Riley.
Those are just like when the Heat call up players.
I'm
from
with
the
you.
D squad,
I'm totally
from,
with
from
you.
the G League. Those are the type of linebackers we're.
I'm tired of Jerome Baker too.
No, I'm not.
Jerome can get out of here for all I care.
The money he's getting paid, I might.
Bro.
I might.
Love you, big bro, but you gone.
But Riley is that guy, that role player.
Yeah.
Roberts is a role player, but you have to understand you're always gonna have something when you're not building a franchise. When you're, again, what I loved about Greer, everybody hated that he was so aggressive in certain aspects and it will fail. I feel like prior to this year, before the Tyreek Hill trade, before the Chubb trade, we were building something.
True.
And that's what I liked because we had so much cap space. So Tyreek kind of, ate a lot of that cap space. And now with Chubb, we don't have a lot to work with. No capital, no draft picks. How are you gonna address these? How are you gonna address them?
Draft a good linebacker in the 6th round. How about you? What position?
me?
What are the chances?
What position? Hey, bro, look at the kid
Yes,
from
yeah, yeah.
Detroit.
100%.
Yeah, you know,
100%.
well, no, he wasn't a 6th rounder, but
No,
you know
if
what I'm saying.
if you want to be a Super Bowl contender,
You need linebackers, dog.
it's-
You need guys who can defend tight ends.
Bro,
You need guys who can cover
guys
tight
like-
ends.
The linebacker that sounds to me is Edmonds from the Bills.
Oh, he's
that
nasty.
guy,
He
guy's
does
one of those
everything.
that's been
He
there
does
every
everything.
year. In
Oh,
it.
you look at the people we just lost to. Who's their middle linebacker?
Yeah.
Milano.
Milano,
no,
he
Milano,
does
Milano,
everywhere.
yeah.
That kid is a stud. And
But
for a
there's
team like the Dolphins, who are one of our most historic players is no next Zach Thomas,
Yeah.
middle linebacker of the century.
Soon to be Hall of Famer,
So
Zach
hopefully he
Thomas.
finally got in. But, like that's something the Dolphins always have had. And Jerome Baker, he ain't it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's not that he's
going
not
back to my
it.
question, though, what is your position?
I'm gonna repeat what Martin said. It's the linebacker because if you look at it on defense, we have a playmaker in each position. If you look at the D-line, we have playmakers, right? You look at the defensive backfield, they have playmakers. You look at the linebackers, playmakers there. There are guys who are serviceable, guys who understand the system, guys who can play well when needed.
I like Baker. I don't want to knock him.
I'm not knocking him, but he's not elite. He's not a playmaker. He's not a guy who's going to jump up and take a pick and
reach his potential.
He's not.
The thing is, everything around him is good. So you would expect him to look better.
That
is
better.
the problem.
Exactly.
And that's a problem.
hold on.
So that's why I say we need a playmaker in that linebacker position.
So now we got somebody here off camera helping us out. Shout out to Rax.
My dog.
Rax, avid Dolphins fan, goes to most of the games here at home, if not all of them.
He watches a lot too.
Same question to you, Rax. You've seen a lot of Dolphins football. What's the number one position the Dolphins need to upgrade before the 2023 season starts?
We definitely gotta have that running back.
So if you couldn't hear him, he went the offensive route. He said we need that running back. We need to lock that down.
Well, let me ask you guys this, and Rax, you can probably chime in on this. Who would you rather have back? Would you rather have Wilson back, or would you rather have Mostert back?
Don't ask me. I already you know.
Who's your pick?
Mostert.
Mostert? Who would be your pick?
Back to me.
Between the two of those guys,
Yeah.
The thing is that you're gonna get them about the same price. You're probably gonna pay a little more for Mostert.
I'm thinking I'm gonna go Jeff Wilson in that route. He's a little bit younger. He probably
Rax
maybe
agrees.
cheaper.
Rax is agreeing over there.
I really like what I saw, and I loved Raheem. I love the way Raheem runs. I love his speed. I love all that.
True.
But if I have to pick, I'm going with Jeff Wilson. But now,
For me, it comes down to who catches the ball better, right? Out of those two guys, and Wilson has shown that he has a little bit better hands and can be a little bit more maneuverable when he does make those catches.
sure,
He is.
he is.
He really is.
But for me, man, if I had to pinpoint where we need help, I mean, there's two spots that for me I need something to happen immediately. Number one is on the right side of the O-line. We need somebody. We need a huge improvement there on that right side of the O-line, whether it's a guard or a tackle.
Maybe even a center.
And I'm so surprised, man, that you guys, nobody in this room said anything about the secondary. Because, we made it work with the Keon Crossings and with the Noah Igbenabis or whatever.
We had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of injuries.
Besides Javon Holland and Xavier Howard, this season did not look great.
Nick Needham is out. Terrell Williams.
What about my dog Cater Who, dog?
What about Cater Kohu, man?
He's a kid who came in, right? Got burned a couple of times because he's still learning that position. But he was probably the best tackler behind Javon Holland in that defensive backfield. He rarely let people get away from him. If they beat him, but he brought him down.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I feel like he, with a little bit more coaching, with a healthy defensive backfield, if he's your guy covering the nickel, or if you have Xavier on the nickel or something like that, you feel a little bit more comfortable with Cater, you know what I'm saying, being out there more than Igbenabis or anybody else that we put out there.
That's fine, bro, and we can give individuals their flowers on that secondary. But from what I can recall, all season long, our D-line putting the pressure and our edge rushers putting the pressure, getting the people. And if anything got past that second zone, the person I saw religiously making the play was Javon Holland.
Yeah.
Javon Holland, second-year man, has elevated his game. I mean, he's a captain of our team for a reason. I mean, he's that leader on the defense. He did had way more of an impact this year than Xavier Howard had. Granted, different positions, but I felt like if running backs or quarterbacks or the play developed past the D-line, there was only one guy I could count back there, and that was Holland.
True, because he's the only one back there.
We need more, but we need something else. We can't let that play have to get all the way back there, man.
Well,
we need players that can make it in the middle. So if it is the linebackers or if it is another corner system or another safety or something like that, we got to figure it out. But there's a lot of questions we got to ask in the offseason. But I want to go back to this season because before we move to our 3 and out, I want to ask you guys, what was your favorite game the Dolphins played this season and why?
My favorite game that they played, honestly, had to be the Baltimore game. Because
the comeback game.
Because it showed how explosive this offense could be when it's clicking. You know, Mike McDaniels made a lot of mistakes in that game. A lot of mistakes in that first half, dog. Guys had dropped balls. This guy play calling was terrible. But then second half made all the adjustments and the offense responded with him and the defense responded. And you can tell like that was one of the points where it was like, damn, if this team can keep up this type of, I don't want to say attitude, but I want to say like if they can keep that type of momentum and effort, then they would be better off in the rest of the season. And I felt like that game changed a lot as far as how teams viewed us.
Sure. How about you, Martin? What was your favorite game this season?
Any game we played the Bills. That was the most exciting. That was the most exciting games to watch. It was the most competitive games we had all season. The first time of the year, 21 or 21-19, we entered that game. Great defensive game.
And we stopped them on a defensive play
Going into Buffalo, 29-31, whatever.
Yeah, it was 31-29.
That's an exciting. And then to end in the playoffs, it's hard to pick one of those games to me. I really feel like those were real football games to me.
For me, if I got to answer that, I'm going to say the last game against Buffalo. Number one, it was a playoff game. I mean, and we don't get too many of those. In the last 20 years, this was only our second one, right? And number two, kind of bringing that in, I don't know, I'm sure you guys recall very well what happened, or maybe you store that in a memory bank you don't want to access, but we got our asses dogged against Baltimore in our last playoff game and really showed we didn't deserve to be there.
Absolutely.
I feel like this year, this game, even though it was a loss, it was a culmination of everything that we've been working for in the last year, from signing McDaniels to bringing in Tyreek to building the core last year, right? Or in the last couple of years with Jalen Waddle, Phillips, Holland, Tua. I mean, we really saw where we're trending in this direction. And I think that was, even though it wasn't the best result, I think that was my favorite game because I think it, it showed us what we have to look forward to as Dolphins fans.
For sure. I feel like as Dolphins fans, we now know what's the bar. Right? The bar is playoffs no matter what.
You sent that in a tweet. I thought that was a very well-written tweet.
No matter what, the playoff standard now for Miami Dolphins football moving forward in the next 3-5 years is playoff football. You know what I mean? Because we've proven that we have a coach who can make it there. In the worst of scenarios, you're losing your quarterback, you lose an O-line, you lose D-backs, you lose this, and he still were able to make it. I would love to see what happens if we would have a full season of people being healthy, you know what I'm saying, and see how far we can make a playoff run.
Yeah, you're 100% right, because with every chip that we put into this season, getting Tyreek Hill, getting Chubb, we put a lot of money into this team. If we don't go into the AFC Championship or Super Bowl next year, not because of how good we can be, that's not what I'm saying.
Just because of the investment.
The investment we put into this team.
Fair.
It doesn't make sense to be a playoff team just because of what you have on this. And that was going to be my follow-up is just, are you okay with the whole... everybody keeps putting it in their needs for next year. You need to make sure you have a good backup quarterback. I'm not okay with that.
Nah.
That's my whole thing about going into next year and having Tua as our quarterback. I'm good with it. But if you have to stay with that, you need a good backup. How many good quarterbacks have a good backup quarterback?
I told that shit to my coworker today.
I hate hearing that. I'm like, why should I be okay with that?
There aren't any. Look, and we thought that
it's hard. Chad Henne's Mahomes' backup quarterback.
Not
Can you
even.
name me Josh Allen's backup quarterback?
No, hell no, bro.
I can. It's Case Keenum, but just because
whatever.
I know. But can you really? Are you okay with going on to next year and the year after with saying I have to have a good backup quarterback?
And we've proven that money isn't the solution at a backup quarterback, right? Or thinking that, hey, I got the best backup quarterback, because Teddy B was supposed to be that guy. We paid him the most money, and he flopped for us as a backup quarterback. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you, Martin. Like, we can't go into next year, like, questioning that backup spot and be like, oh, well, what are we going to do about it? Nah, we got Skyler locked in. In my opinion, Skyler's locked into that backup spot, because he's already built a rapport, comfortable with the offense, has been in the grind, started a playoff game. Like, I don't want to see a backup quarterback come in and take more shine away from Skyler. I'm not saying that Skyler's the answer.
You got to make sure that if you're going into this year, it's Tua or nobody. Like, that is your guy.
It's
I don't want to hear you because McDaniel brought in Bridgewater to bring a QB controversy to hopefully bring something out of Tua.
And it
obviously
worked.
Yes, to an extent. I guess it worked. But you can't pay a guy on the bench for $9 million if he's just going to be your backup quarterback.
I agree.
So you got to be confident in your number one, and that's all I want to hear.
Definitely not. There's still a lot of questions. There's still a lot more information coming out. We still got a lot. So, who knows? We're going to keep this OnlyFans going throughout the season. Before it's not going to be just a post-game show anymore. It's just going to be our Dolphin show where we're bringing you guys updates on anything Dolphins as the season goes on, all season, and all that good stuff as we run on to the draft. But man,
on to the draft.
This is a little bit of sweet, boys. This is the last OnlyFans of the season, of the 2022-2023 season. We go off on a loss, but winning record 9-8. A lot of good flashes. We made the playoffs. There's
competitive in the playoffs.
Lot to be happy for, boys. So, I guess the last thing we should do for OnlyFans is go 3-0, dog.
I think we got to do the 3-0, and this 3-0 is presented to you by Empire Boutique, baby. We're in the building. Shout out to Steve, man.
Shout out Steve, man.
Yo, if you guys need drip like this, right here, you guys usually don't get to see the full drip. Yeah. We got it all around the store, okay? You can hook you up. You don't even have to come to the store. You can pick it out on the Instagram. Send him the package. He'll have it ready for you. You can pick it up curbside. You're not gonna get this type of service anywhere else, and you're not gonna get this drip anywhere else. That's a fact. All right. Now, this 3 and out for the season ending, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. All right. We're gonna give you guys our surprise Dolphin of the year. We're gonna give you our most improved player for the Dolphins season, and we're also gonna name our most valuable Dolphin for the season. Now, let's start it off with a surprise Fin of the year. I'm gonna kick it off with a guy who we got in a trade from Baltimore. We didn't know what we were gonna expect from this guy, but Sealer turned out to really be a difference maker on that D-line. We knew about Wilkins. We knew about Phillips, right? We made the move for Chubbs, but the guy who was always there right next to these guys making plays and even had a touchdown in this playoff game was Sealer. And for me, I feel like he's the most surprising Dolphin we had this year because everybody else had expectations. This dude didn't really have any. He blew them all out of the water, man. What about you, Joel? You still thinking? We'll flip it on.
I was listening. I'm just digesting everything you said. And, you know, who I'm going to go with is somebody played right alongside of Sealer. And I think that, you know, Sealer had found a lot of success because of this individual. And I got to give it to Christian Wilkins, man. Because Wilkins, he really surprised me, man. Because, you know, he's done all right the last couple seasons. You know, we know what he can do, his personality. He can get in people's heads. True. The Power Ranger, you know, his celebration dance and all that. But I saw him really make an impact in games individually where he was able to break through, get off his block, stop, you know, either change the direction of the play or stop the play altogether where other guys like Sealer were able to get in there, make a stop. Or, you know, one of our linebackers could come up and miss a tackle for Javon Holland to clean up, you know, something like that. But I got to go with Wilkins on that, man, because he really surprised me this year. That guy's just progressively getting better every season, you know?
That's a great pick, bro. 99 tackles on the season. That guy's a monster. We need to sign that guy today. What about you, Martin? Who's your surprise?
I think the only way you can call him a surprise if you had no idea what his name was before the season started. Kader Kohu coming in, he was came into the year. He was number 6 on the depth chart. Troy Williams got hurt. Needham got hurt. He ends up being number 2, 3.
In early too, week 3, week 4.
He grew up really fast, if you ask me. He did step up. Obviously, nothing was perfect. In the secondary, it's hard to call out and say anybody played perfect this year.
Sure.
But to say that he came from being basically practice squad to not even making the roster, to being a starting cornerback, it's easy.
Strides.
It's easy for me.
For sure. And look, we talked about it. He's going to be a guy who we expect to contribute more next year, right? Like, Xavier's out for a game, throw in Kehu. You know what I mean? Oh, this dude can't go, throw him in. And he might just be starting over Nick Needham. He might be.
No. Is that Needham's more of a nickel corner?
I get it, but you can trust him to be physical because this dude is not that small. Shout out to all these guys, man. Chris did a great job. Zealer did a great job, and so did Kader did a great job this season, man. Let's head on over to our most improved Dolphins this year. It's a little bit of a different question. Martin, let's flip it to you, dog. Who do you got for most improved?
I think I'm going to go with Christian Wilkins.
That's a great point.
He led the league in tackles
for defensive tackles, man. 99
tackles. He was all over and for a year that we were kind of disappointed in the first half by the D-line that we weren't getting enough pressure for a guy to be there on every play because Phillips got better towards the end of the season.
Good point.
But Wilkins from week 1 was there making plays and towards the end, look, turnovers created. He's really one of those guys that you could see that gels that D-line together.
For sure. What about you?
I'm gonna jump over to Phillips. I think Phillips was a huge improvement this season.
That's a great point.
Because like I said, the reason this one was tough for me because I could have gone either route.
Yeah.
And this guy went hard at Phillips a lot, dog.
I did, and I could have gone either route. I could have given him the surprise and Wilkins the most improved, but they go hand in hand, man. Both those guys did their thing this season, and we saw them both progressively get better. I saw Jalen Phillips, where I was asking of him, where are you? Where's the pressure? Why aren't we seeing more of you with your athleticism and your ability? And he was doing that, man. And where I saw that happen more often than not wasn't so much blowing up, the edge kind of, like the Bosa brothers and stuff like that, or, like your traditional No, it was he didn't get through. The pass is gone. He's hustling down the field and he's making that play, kind of like Wilkins was too. Yeah. You can count on those guys to never give up on the play and run it all the way down until the ball's The Bills was
The
blowing.
reason I didn't
That guy
pick
has
him,
tremendo
the
motor.
reason I didn't pick him is because I saw that last year.
Just not enough.
No, you did it. It was more to me that the end of the year is when he actually stepped up. In the first half of the year, he really wasn't doing it. Wilkins did it throughout the year. That's why I'm giving him more to Wilkins than I am.
That's fair.
Phillips, trust me, I love Phillips.
Yeah,
man.
they're both fair,
they're both deserving, dog. For me, I don't know how you guys didn't pick this guy, but my most improved is going to be Tua, man. 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Nobody had
3
Tua
concussions.
throwing. Well, hey, 3 concussions, whatever. He missed games.
He surprised me then.
But he
Can I switch him?
surprised everybody with the amount.
He didn't surprise me. That's my dog.
No,
I already knew what he was gonna do,
Let me
man.
tell you why. Because there was a lot of people who were like, well, now Tua has no excuses. He has Tyreek. He has to ball out. He's better do this. And he did it. He did it. He played as good as he could have played for the games that he played. Did he have bad moments? Hell yeah. Did he have bad throws? Hell yeah. But you know what? For him to come into a season with all this expectation, all this pressure, all this weight.
You're a top 5 pick. The pressure's when you get drafted. Bro.
Hey, dog, I get it. But he still performed, right? And again, if he would have been 22 touchdowns and 13 picks, we would have been like, I don't know about this guy. But the fact that he played that well and had, what was it, like a 6-week streak where he didn't even throw an interception?
Yeah.
Like, we saw a lot of improvement from this guy, especially from how bad he was last year at times. So I think that he really made enough of his opportunities, made the most of this offense, and really turned it into something that was dangerous, dog. That's why I gave him most improved.
Sure, fair enough.
For the last one, MVP. Our most valuable Fin.
I have a feeling we're all gonna go with the same guy.
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Mine is going to be surprising, and I'm going to kick it off.
Go for it.
My MVP is not even a player, dog. It's Coach McDaniel. Because I feel like he came in with a lot of questions. He had the job to do to get Tua right, to integrate Tyreek Hill, to team him up with Waddle, to get this team to a playoff, to find the running game, fix the O-line, help the D come back. This dude did a lot as a first-time head coach with a lot of expectations, a lot of high-pressure situations, and I feel like he did the best job that he could have done as a first-year head coach. Make the playoffs is hard as hell for any head coach to do in their first year, especially when you lose your starting quarterback for half the season.
You ever been a car salesman?
What about you, Martin?
For me, I'm going with Tyreek, the guy that made his job a lot easier.
I mean, he got him.
That's exactly who I thought we
Oh,
were
okay.
all
I
going with.
thought you were going with Tua. That's why.
No, dog. I'm going with Tyreek because, I mean.
So wait, why
forget about
Tyreek
it.
for you?
Because
Let's
he
tag
made
team
this.
Let's tag team this, bro.
He made this offense open up and develop with his speed. Just him being out there as a decoy or as the main threat. He opened it up for Waddle did his thing already without him.
Yeah.
So this just opened it up to have top. Well, I think Waddle ended up number 7 in
Number
top,
7
in yards.
in the wide receivers.
To have 2
in top
it
10
was
is
because
wild.
of what Hill brought to
Well,
the table.
third time in the NFL where we have 2 guys, combined over for 3,000 yards.
Ridiculous.
Hill
Wild.
became and this was one thing I didn't like, but it was just when Hill did it, he capitalized it.
Yeah.
He was force fed every play, and he made sure to get you that production
Yeah.
with those
Yeah.
with those
And
attempts.
then we saw, like, in this Buffalo game where he has a shaky start, and you see the rest of the team kind of goes off of that energy, and then he just says, nah, dog, I'm going to pick myself up and pick you guys up with me. And he starts making catches, and he starts making plays.
True.
And the team starts going, oh, shit, yeah, we got that confidence. We got Tyreek, bro. We got the cheetah. And I think that having that guy out there, bro, like, it just shakes defenses. And no matter who's throwing the ball to him, whether it was
Facts.
Teddy, Skyler, McDaniel, whoever, he's somebody
Notice
you
how
gotta
you
worry
didn't
about on the
mention
field.
Teddy. You mentioned.
and to be honest, I'm picking him on top of the fact that I kind of, when I heard the trade was done, I didn't want that trade. We gave up a lot. We gave up a lot for him.
But we got a lot.
But we
out
got
of
a
him.
lot out of
agree,
it.
And
but
that's why we're giving him our most valuable fin of the year.
And look, it
made,
makes sense.
He made sure to make that all worth it, because if that would have failed, that would have been one of the biggest fails in NFL history.
Nah,
We got Rex in disagreement over here.
He was open, dog.
He's open. He's open. And that's what he does. But, like, again, for us to have Tyreek Hill, we wouldn't even have made the move for Tyreek Hill if we don't have McDaniels, a guy who's an offensive guru, a guy who can put
I
these guys
think-
into position.
I think that trade was done more to secure Tua and his growth.
I don't think so, because we could have got that guy for any quarterback, right? And been like, yo, I got you a top 5 receiver.
Devontae Adams or him, and Devontae Adams wasn't coming over here.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is, like, when you
anybody
get
else,
a type,
anybody else in that situation, I don't think.
But when
elevates
you
our
get a
team
top
like Tyreek
5
did.
wide receiver, dog, that comes with a lot of help. It's like, hey, you know, I'm gonna open this shit up no matter what, right? Like, they could triple team me, but we're still gonna open it up. Your offense could be whack, but I'm still gonna open it up. It just so happened that his skills match perfectly with whatever McDaniel wanted to do, and then we saw it this year, dog. This guy he was on pace for 2,000 yards. He would have got
But
it
they
to
used
a
him
place.
differently because the way that Kansas City would use him was more of a deep threat. He
Right.
was used more curls, slants, something he's never been used to. He was taking a lot of hits this year.
He
And-
was,
and still making big
another reason
plays.
why. Because the last 6 games of the season, even this one right here that we played, you can tell Tyreek Hill was not 100%.
Yeah, he
Facts.
took a lot of. He took a beating.
He still gave it his 100% effort, dog, and that's
Love that
why
guy.
that guy deserves that.
What a dog.
Because
What
at
a
the end
dog.
of the day, man, it changed it all. This was by far the most dynamic, explosive, entertaining Dolphins team we've seen since post Dan Marino. I don't feel ashamed. I don't think
Nah.
that I'm being overzealous by saying that.
Not at all.
I think if you've been as miserable as we have been the last 22 years watching Dolphins football, and you saw this season how it unfolded and all the ups and downs, you have to say this is the best Dolphins team we've seen since Dan Marino.
Hell yeah.
I had fun watching Tannehill's rookie season, man. That's just me.
Get the hell out of here,
I
bro.
don't know about
hate
that,
it.
dog.
I'm still trying to
You
bring
can't compare that to this
Tannehill
shit.
line
You know
up,
what
bro.
I mean?
That's one of the most bonehead
Get
things
out
we
of
ever
here.
did,
But you're right, Joel. Like, this season was crazy, dog. And for any Dolphins fan, whether you're a delusional Dolphin, a skeptical Dolphin, right, or kind of wait till you see how it goes, Dolphin, everything kind of worked out. We had a lot of expectations, but at the end, we made those expectations happen, and we're just gonna build on that for next year. How we're gonna build on that, we got to figure that
Does
out.
my C plus still sound crazy?
We
I'm just
got.
wondering.
See, it
you know
sounds
what?
crazy.
You know what?
It
Hold
sounds
on.
crazy.
Let's go with this end of season grade, because we did this back when we were winning. We were coming off our 5-game win streak, so I think we were 8-3, something like that. And
Yeah.
I said at this point in the season, what do you guys grade
I
it?
think 7-3.
And you had given it a C plus, which you got a lot of grief for.
And I'm cool.
I think we both gave it. You gave it an A, which I was gonna give it, but then Martin upset me, and I gave it an A plus.
Right.
Let's go end of season grade before we wrap up the show. Martin, I'm gonna start with you. What is your grade?
I was trying to give it the last touch, but okay. I'm gonna go. I guess I'm gonna get a beating for this one too, maybe because we made the playoffs.
Do it.
I'm gonna go with a B.
That's
I
fair,
think
dog.
overall, to go from 7-3 and the season 8-9, although Tua was hurt, we didn't clinch the playoffs before he got hurt. He had 4 games to do it, or 3 games. I'm not counting the Packers
Sure,
games.
sure.
So
3 games. 3 games.
We went into San Francisco, horrible. We went into to LA, horrible. I was here to see it too. The Buffalo game, we didn't. There were none of those games versus top elite teams where we were able to pull it off and clinch the playoffs before. Which obviously would have later clinched the playoffs because obviously we needed the Jets game, so meaning we would need one more win. So yeah, B for me. I don't think we ran the ball
That's fair.
enough.
I would have thought you would have said something way worse.
I think McDaniel could have done a lot of improvements
For
throughout
sure.
the year, or we would have ran the ball. I think our defense. There was a lot of situations where Boyer kind of let him out to dry. I don't think our DBs were ready to be put on cover zero.
I agree.
It really made no sense sometimes. So that's why I'm going to give it a B, just because we made the playoffs. If not, we're going back to C plus.
I'm gonna go with a B minus.
That's where I thought you were gonna go.
I'm gonna go with the B minus because
Made the playoffs.
they made the playoffs, so you automatically get the B, right? You made the playoffs, you get the B. But for me, the minus comes from the missed opportunities, right? There was a lot of missed opportunities on defense, a lot of missed opportunities on offense, and even in this last game, that last play, we had an opportunity and we missed it. We missed it. And those are the things that's like, fuck, man. Those little things are what makes the separate the elite teams from the good teams. So for us to become an elite team, we got to eliminate those type of mistakes, and we need to be an A team. So that's why I said B minus.
All right, well, we got a B and we got a B minus. I think it's only right for me to go B plus. Since we're gonna take all 3 of them, we're gonna.
Damn, no, you don't want to go A minus, dog?
No, we're gonna. No, I can't go A minus. And again, for those reasons you guys just stated, that 5-game skid. We were 1 game from being out of the playoffs and not even doing this week. We would have been doing this a couple weeks ago, right? But and I think B. I think a solid B. Is a very fair grade. If we
I
average
don't
all
like
of
that I was
ours,
being fair.
I think we average all of ours. We're at a B. And I think think that the main thing on that was seeing the emergence of Tyreek Hill in this offense, the emergence of Coach McDaniel, the improvement of Tua, and the fact that we got into the playoffs, and then when we got into the playoff game, we didn't just turn around and bend over and take it. We put up a fight, and that's all we can ask for at the end of the day, guys, because we haven't had too many opportunities in the last 20 years. The last time we did have one, it wasn't pretty, didn't leave us with a good taste in our mouth. It's there's no such thing as a moral victory. I know you love to point that out, but you got to feel good about this Dolphins team moving forward in 2023.
Maybe
boys.
not a moral victory, but a moral season. Like, we definitely did more than what was expected.
Set the bar, right?
We set the bar, dog.
So I'm happy, man. I'm happy, to be a Dolphins fan. I'm happy to rep, this aqua and orange on me all day.
Baby.
Aqua and orange lining is. We still got next season,
Well,
right?
and we got the offseason. We got
That's
to make
it.
moves. We got to make moves.
Boys, this was fun. I think we're a little bit past our time here. We went in for the last OnlyFans of the season.
Yes, sir.
I think we're gonna make sure we keep doing this again. But thank you guys all for tuning in and checking us out. Again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that good stuff. Be a friend to tell a friend. And on behalf of the guys here on OnlyFans, Joel signing off one last time. Peace.
White orange and teal, the fins look real, it's a deal. It's blood, sweat, and tears, all up in his huddle with water to cook up a meal. My coaching into it, the combo was chill. Play action to chase, got hunger to feel. The cheetah is loose, he's going for blood. The end of the race only went for the kill. Miami, the city, the county, the block. We steady impact, tail in the lot. Defense is strong and hard as a rock. Holland's a lock, and next one's a spot. Getting too hot, so turn up the fan. You look to the crowd, see Jimmy and Bam. Martin, Joe, and Sosa the man. Your fellas, roll the clip, OnlyFans.